Welcome to großeWelt, where we explore the fascinating, the bizarre, and the downright unbelievable aspects of our world. Today we're diving into the 10 weirdest illegal laws in the United States. You won't believe what some states have outlawed. Hey everyone, I'm Your Name. And today we're uncovering some of the strangest laws still on the books in the United States. From bizarre bans on animal behavior to odd restrictions on personal habits, these laws will leave you scratching your head and wondering, how did that even become a law? So buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through the wacky world of weird US laws. Let's get started.
Our first stop is Mobile, Alabama. Picture this. It's Mardi Gras. The streets are alive with music and celebration, and wait, something's missing. Where are the brightly colored strings flying through the air? Well, in Mobile, Alabama, you won't find any silly string because it's completely illegal. That's right, possessing, manufacturing, selling, or using silly string is a big no-no in this Alabama city. You might be wondering why anyone would outlaw something as harmless and fun as silly string. Officially, it's considered a public nuisance. Imagine cleaning up all those sticky strings after a parade. Plus, some environmental concerns exist around silly string. It's not biodegradable, and no one wants to see that stuff tangled up in trees for years to come. So while it might seem like a harmless prankster's tool, in Mobile, Alabama, silly string is serious business.
Next, let's head to Arizona, a state known for its scorching deserts, stunning canyons, and illegal camel hunting. You heard that right. In Arizona, it's against the law to hunt camels. Now, you might be thinking, camels in Arizona? Don't those belong in the Sahara? And you'd be mostly right. But there's a fascinating history here. Back in the mid-19th century, the US Army experimented with using camels for transportation in the Southwest. They even formed the US Camel Corps. Some of these camels escaped or were released, and rumors of wild camels roaming the Arizona desert persisted for years. While there's no evidence of a thriving camel population in Arizona today, the law prohibiting their hunting remains on the books, a quirky reminder of the state's experimental past.
Our next stop takes us to California, the land of Hollywood, surfing, and apparently some very important frog jumping rules. You see, in California, if you're participating in a frog jumping contest, and your amphibian athlete unfortunately kicks the bucket mid-competition, you absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, eat it. I know what you're thinking. Who would even think of eating a frog that died in a jumping contest? Well, the origins of this law are actually literary. This quirky legislation was inspired by Mark Twain's famous short story, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, which features, you guessed it, a frog jumping contest and a bit of frog-related trickery. The law, while humorous, serves as a reminder that even in the heat of competition, we need to treat animals with respect, even if they don't win us any bets.
Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're heading to Connecticut, where the pickles are held to a higher standard. Literally. That's right, in Connecticut, for a pickle to be legally sold, it has to bounce. No, I'm not kidding. This isn't some strange health code regulation. It's the law. The pickle bounce test became a thing back in the 1940s, when two pickle entrepreneurs were caught selling less than desirable pickles. To ensure that only the highest quality, crunchiest pickles were sold in Connecticut, officials decided that a pickle must bounce when dropped from a height of 1 foot. If it bounces, it's good to go. If it goes splat, well, it's back to the pickle factory. So the next time you're enjoying a pickle from Connecticut, give it a bounce. You know, for quality control.
Florida, the Sunshine State, known for its beautiful beaches, vibrant nightlife, and, wait for it, a ban on singing in public while wearing a swimsuit. You read that right, folks. In Florida, if you're rocking your best beach attire, keep your vocal stylings to yourself. Now, this law might seem a little, shall we say, antiquated, but it likely stems from a desire to maintain a certain level of, let's call it decorum, on Florida's sunny shores. Imagine you're trying to relax on the beach, soak up some sun, and suddenly someone in a banana hammock launches into a rousing rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody. Not exactly the peaceful beach experience you had in mind, right? So while it might seem like a strange law, it's probably for the best. Keep the karaoke to the bars, folks, and let's keep the beaches harmonious, at least in terms of unwanted singing. Hold on to your feathers, because we're about to cross paths with one of the most foul laws on our list. We're in Quitman, Georgia, where chickens have a serious case of wanderlust, and crossing the road is strictly prohibited. Yes, you heard that right. In Quitman, Georgia, chickens are not allowed to exercise their right to cross the road. Now, this law might seem like something hatched by a bunch of bored lawmakers, but there's actually a method to this madness. You see, chickens can be, well, a little flighty. They're not exactly known for their road safety awareness, and a bunch of chickens running amok in the streets could lead to some serious traffic trouble. So, while it might seem like a silly law on the surface, it's really about keeping both drivers and chickens safe. After all, we wouldn't want any poultry in peril. Chapter 7, Indiana. Black cats on a leash. Bell. Our next stop takes us to Indiana, where Friday the 13th is even more superstitious than usual, especially if you're a black cat. That's because in Indiana, if you own a black cat, it's mandatory for your feline friend to wear a bell on Friday the 13th. Yes, you heard that right, it's the law. Now, this law might seem like it was conjured up by a coven of superstitious lawmakers, but it's actually rooted in a long history of black cat-related folklore. For centuries, black cats have been associated with bad luck, witchcraft, and all things spooky. And while we here at großeWelt are firm believers in science and reason, we can understand how this superstition led to such a unique law. The bell, presumably, is to alert unsuspecting passers-by to the presence of a black cat, you know, just in case they need to cross the street or pull out their lucky rabbit's foot. Chapter 8. Kentucky. Blue ducks? Not so fast. Hold your horses, or should I say ducklings, because we're about to dive into the wild world of Kentucky's dyed duck laws. That's right, in Kentucky, dyeing a duckling blue and trying to sell it is a big no-no, unless you've got more than 6 of these bluebirds for sale at once. I know what you're thinking. Dyeing ducklings blue? Who would do such a thing? And more importantly, why is there a law about it? Well, it all comes down to protecting animals and preventing, well, shenanigans. Dyeing animals for novelty purposes has been a controversial practice for years, and this Kentucky law aims to curb that practice. By setting a minimum number of dyed ducklings for sale, the law makes it less appealing for individuals to engage in this practice. So, while it might seem like a strange law, it's actually about protecting animals and ensuring their welfare. After all, ducklings are cute enough without needing a blue makeover. Chapter 9, Minnesota. No greased pig relays. Here, hold your hogs, everyone, because we're about to tackle a slippery situation in Minnesota. Get ready to say no way to greased pig contests. That's right, in Minnesota, not only is it illegal to participate in a greased pig chase, but it's also against the law to organize one. This law might seem like a no-brainer to animal lovers, and rightfully so. For years, greased pig contests were a staple at county fairs and other events, but thankfully people began to realize that chasing terrified, slippery pigs for entertainment wasn't exactly humane. Minnesota's law reflects a growing awareness of animal cruelty and a commitment to protecting animals from unnecessary harm and exploitation. So, while it might seem like a strange law to have on the books, it's actually a sign of progress and a victory for animal rights. Chapter 10, Ohio, bottoms up, not for fish. Last, but not least, we're diving into the deep end of weird laws with Ohio's prohibition against, wait for it, getting a fish drunk. Yes, you read that right. In Ohio, it's against the law to give a fish any type of intoxicant. Now, you might be thinking, who in their right mind would try to get a fish drunk? And honestly, that's a fair question, but this law, as outlandish as it might seem, actually highlights an important point about animal welfare. Just because an animal doesn't react to substances in the same way humans do doesn't mean it's okay to subject them to harmful or cruel treatment. Ohio's law serves as a reminder that we have a responsibility to treat all creatures with respect and compassion, even the ones we keep in tanks. So the next time you're tempted to slip your goldfish a sip of your beer, remember, in Ohio, it's not just cruel, it's illegal. Outro, that's all, folks. And there you have it, the 10 weirdest illegal laws in the United States. From banned silly string to mandatory cat bells and the curious case of the blue ducklings, These laws offer a fascinating and often humorous glimpse into the history, culture, and sometimes head-scratching legal systems of different states. While some of these laws may seem outdated, silly, or downright bizarre, they serve as a reminder that laws are often a reflection of a particular time and place, and that what might have seemed like a good idea centuries ago might raise a few eyebrows today. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to großeWelt for more intriguing content. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.